This is a true story. Three teenage boys went into a cave for an adventure. Shortly after entering, a fire blocked their way out. One of them, desperate to escape, decided to run through the flames. The other two stood frozen in fear, watching him disappear. Not knowing what else to do, they ran deeper into the cave, hoping for rescue. This incident happened on July 9, 1967, in Carnegie Cave, Pennsylvania, USA. The cave was discovered by workers during road construction. It had a complex system of tunnels, with the longest stretching 457 meters. Not far from it, workers also found two more caves. After exploring, they realized all three were connected. However, the road being built overlapped with their entrances, so the caves had to be sealed off. After many requests from locals, the transportation department allowed one entrance to remain open but modified it. They built a 47-meter-long, 90-centimeter-wide tunnel leading from the road to the cave, allowing people to enter while keeping the road safe. For adventurers, crawling through this narrow tunnel made the experience even more thrilling. On the day of the incident, three boys, around 16 or 17 years old, decided to explore Carnegie Cave. They had no experience with cave exploration. As they reached the entrance, they saw two other teenagers coming out. The two groups exchanged glances before the three boys crawled into the tunnel. Inside, they noticed two burning candles on the ground, likely left by the previous explorers. Without paying much attention, they stepped over them and continued into the cave. After about 10 minutes, something felt off. The air inside was hotter than they had expected. Sweat dripped from their faces, but they assumed it was just due to the lack of airflow. Then they smelled something strange. Since they were close to the entrance, they didn't think much of it. However, the heat and strong odor soon became unbearable, forcing them to turn back. As they slowly made their way out, they realized something was wrong. The air got even hotter, and the strange smell worsened. Then they saw thick black smoke coming from the direction of the entrance. Now, in full panic, they rushed forward and saw flames blocking their only way out. Trapped inside, they had no way to call for help. They could only hope the fire would die down on its own. But as time passed, the smoke filled the cave, making it hard to breathe. Their eyes burned from the fumes. One of them, Charles, feared they wouldn't survive if they waited. He told his friends it was better to take the risk and run through the fire than to suffocate inside. His friends tried to stop him, reminding him that the tunnel was nearly 50 meters long. If the whole tunnel was on fire, crawling through it could be deadly. Charles hesitated for a few seconds, but then made up his mind. He pushed forward, crawling through the flames. His painful screams echoed through the cave. Meanwhile, residents near Carnegie Cave saw thick smoke rising and called the fire department. Firefighters arrived and saw Charles near the entrance, struggling to move. He had managed to escape, but when they reached him, they realized his condition was serious. His entire body was burned. They rushed him to the hospital while firefighters put out the fire and searched for the other two boys. After about an hour and a half, they found them deep inside the cave, where they had fled to escape the toxic smoke and heat. It took another 2 hours to bring them out safely. The two boys were taken to the hospital, but they were not seriously hurt. Charles, however, suffered burns on over 59% of his body. Despite medical treatment, he passed away on July 12th. Investigators discovered that the entrance tunnel had been coated with a flammable adhesive during construction. The fire started when someone knocked over the candles left at the entrance. Charles and his friends may have accidentally kicked them while crawling inside. However, the two survivors, Jerry and Simon, insisted they never touched the candles. Since Charles was behind them, they couldn't say for sure if he had. Some believed the candles had burned down naturally, igniting the tunnel. But since the fire started just minutes after they entered, this theory seemed unlikely. Others suspected that someone outside had tampered with the candles after they went in, but there was no evidence. No matter what happened, leaving candles at the cave entrance led to a tragedy.